Somebody tell me to go. 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 Somebody tell me to go.
It's opening day in Major League Baseball. So glad baseball is back. Time for another feature premiere for MLB The Show 21. You know me, I'm Ramone Russell. Hello again to all our fans from around the world on PlayStation, and welcome our newest Xbox fans. Thanks for tuning in. 3 down and 3 to go for our feature premieres. You've seen pitching and hitting. You've learned all about the fielding overhaul. You've found out how you can customize your ball player. Today, we're diving deep into franchise mode and March to October. Then we have Next Gen and Diamond Dynasty. You can watch every Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. I'm joined by Kyle Blake, who never let us forget that he won a developer tournament in 2019. I'm serious, he wore that belt around for like a whole year. And Clayton Reed. Clayton, you're looking sharp, but you know nobody can see you, right? I see you got a haircut.
Yeah, nice to virtually talk to you guys. Took a couple inches off the COVID flow, trimmed up the beard, was all excited to show my ugly mug, and now it's not gonna make it into the video. A little disappointed.
Mr. Kyle Blake, give our fans a little bit of background about yourself.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Kyle Blake. I'm a technical game designer here, and I work a lot on franchise and Diamond Dynasty. And Ramone, it wasn't every single meeting, only most.
Most is in like 98%.
Maybe.
All right, let's get into it. This is a very important year because franchise takes an important step forward this year. Kyle, can you talk about how things are changing in big ways at the core of franchise mode for MLB The Show 21?
Yeah, first let's just talk a little about franchise and kind of what it is. It's all about putting you in that GM seat and giving you full control over an entire MLB franchise. It's up to you to build that star-studded roster, play games, and win World Series. You get to build your squad through trades, free agency, scouting, and drafting. You just have a ton of tools at your fingertips to really become that GM you've always wanted to be. The other cool thing is everything is very customizable. If you just want to play games and let the AI take control over the rest, that's great. Or on the flip side, if you want to really dive into every single move your team makes, maybe play a little less, it's perfect. It's completely customizable and up to you how you want to play franchise.
All right, so let's get right into it. Clayton, really give us this explanation of the vision, effort, and oversight on what's really happening with franchise mode.
I definitely can, but let me start with a little insight into our thinking. We have a clear vision for where we want to go with franchise in March to October, and to get there, we needed to revamp the core of these modes. This meant we needed to drastically improve how we evaluated players. As you can imagine, revamping the core of entire modes is a monumental task. We spent a lot of effort in this area. We ran numerous 30-year simulations, collecting and crunching the data of thousands of players across both the majors and the minors, and we're pretty pumped with what's come out of this endeavor.
Clayton, this sounds amazing. So tell us, what's new when it comes to evaluating players in MLB The Show 21's franchise mode?
So we took this mountain of data that I just talked about and we created some impressive new systems. For the first time in this show, we can project how a player's skills will progress into the future. Across the length of the current contract, across the length of the contract that's being offered, across team control years, no matter the length of time, we can project how a player's skills will improve or diminish. Another major addition to the revamped player evaluation logic is our new WAR-based performance tracking system.
Okay, hold on. What's WAR? Explain what WAR is for the people at home.
WAR is wins above replacement. It measures a player's value in all facets of the game. It then compares that value to a replacement level player who plays that same position. We can now look at a player's output and again, for the first time in the show, compare it to how he should be performing based on his rank. Consistently overperforming or underperforming influences your progression, so naturally it should influence your player value as well. The last new piece that came out of all this research is our ability to determine whether a player is overproducing or underproducing in relation to his contract's average annual value. We've never been able to do this before, let alone do it intelligently, and we felt it it was imperative for both realism and accuracy that a player's salary be a major factor in his value. When you combine those three components, our new ability to project skill progression into the future, our new system for comparing players' performance to his expectation, and our new ability to look at a player's production compared to his salary, what all that gives us is our brand new system for determining a player's trade value, the trade metric. And we believe the community is going to love that intelligence behind and the improvements to trades across franchise and March to October.
Okay, so trades are smarter and better, but what is this new player metric that you've been telling me about?
Player metric. The first two components of our trade metric, our ability to project skill progression in the future and our new system for comparing a player's performance to his expectation. Those two combined give us another new system that determines a player's value, not his trade value, but his player value, and we call it the player metric.
This sounds amazing. How are we using this new player metric?
So once we had built both the player metric and the trade metric, we actually put them in the game and ran them side by side with the old player and trade value systems. We did this to compare the old and the new and see if we liked what we saw out of the new system. And it turns out we actually loved what we saw. That led to the added bonus of us incorporating the player metric into 3 additional logic systems. The first one is the contract logic system, where we felt that our ability to project the skills, progression, and our system for comparing a player's performance to his expectation, we felt that led to more realistic and accurate contract values. The second one, the call-up send-down logic, where we use the new war-based performance tracking system, that's going to help us better determine promotions and demotions. Finally, it was incorporated into the depth chart, with the depth chart integrating our new ability to project skill progressions in a very cool way, and something that Kyle's going to touch on shortly.
Okay, so let's recap here, Clayton. Player metric, this is an important part of the logic of franchise mode. This is all new and it's used in a ton of places that matter, right?
That's right. So why this is all really important stuff and why I've taken all this time to explain it is because the trade metric and player metric not only make MLB The Show 21 that much better, but it also sets the foundation for everything we want to accomplish moving forward in franchise in March to October.
All right, so thanks for that explanation, Clayton. We're going to talk to you in a minute. Kyle, let's talk about depth charts. They've changed quite a bit. Give us a little explanation on the updates and how this new depth chart really changes the franchise mode experience.
Absolutely. Of course, the most important part of every Major League club are the players you put on the field. Because of that, we've added a brand new way to look at your roster in MLB The Show 21. So Clayton talked a lot about the systems underlying franchise mode, and that's one piece of the core. The other piece of that core is how you interact with the game, and this is more the visual side. So we present the depth chart. It's really just the GM's dream. It's a one-stop shop for all the information you could pretty much ever need for your ball club. But the key, as you see it here, it's not just a table, it's not just a spreadsheet, it's not just a bunch of information thrown at you. It's a very visual, easy to understand way to help you build your ball club.
All right, Kyle, depth charts are a-changing. Let's take a look at the Rays depth chart on the screen. Kyle, what are we looking at?
Yes, we're looking at the Tampa Bay Rays here. At first glance, you're going to notice these starters at every single position. The more you look, the more information you're going to see. That little number next to them is their player overall. It's kind of a rating of how well that player will perform. And there are also these little icons scattered around the screen. The blue one with a sheet of paper on it, that means that player is in a contract year and it will be the last year on your team unless you re-sign him. There's also the red icon with a white arrow. That means that player is a top prospect. Those you normally see on your depth guys, so you get that full picture of that position. But of course, we're not just talking about the present here. That's only one key component of building an MLB roster. The future is the second piece. So as you can tab through and easily see the next upcoming seasons, you can see that the players are changing and their projections are changing. This is the logic that Clayton was talking about a little bit earlier. So we take a look at Wander Franco, of course. You might have heard of him. I don't know. Ronnie, you heard of Wander Franco?
Yeah. He, I've heard about this guy. He's like the #1 prospect or something like that, right?
Yeah, he's an absolute dude. So, of course, if you're the GM of the Rays, you want to know when Wander Franco is going to come up to your ball club. So you can see as you tab through these seasons, you can see where Wander Franco is projected to be in those years. And so you can get a more accurate picture of your roster in the future.
This is great. So Kyle, we're taking a look at the new depth chart. Can you tell us what you can actually do view in the depth chart now? Like, what type of interactivity does it have?
Of course, it's not just a view. The other piece is actually being able to make roster moves. So if you're in the right parts of the season when we allow contract extensions, you can press X really easily and just extend that guy who's in his contract year. Also, if you notice maybe you have a surplus in a position, you can look at trades very quickly, very easily for those guys. Or maybe you just got that one missing piece and you can go and quickly and easily see the free agents at a position. It's not just a view, it's a really easy way to build your roster.
So Kyle, how is this going to help with me building my team?
When you're building your squad, tons of questions come up. Like I said with Wander Franco, when is that top prospect going to reach the majors? Or if I'm trying to build that World Series contender, when is my window of contention going to open? Or on the flip side, if you're already feeling like you're a dynasty or winning all these World Series, when might that window of contention kind of close? Even in the bottom left corner, we show budget, so you can see, hey, am I going to have a lot of money, or budget might be a little tight in those years?
All right. So does this info ever change?
Absolutely. So every single day, every single roster move you make, everything is changing. There's a lot of really powerful custom logic that power the current and the future years. The current year is powered mostly by the decisions you've made. So how you set your lineup, how you set your rotation, and combine that with that custom logic, you'll see that's really what makes this up. The other really interesting piece is these projections, they are just projections. So they're not 100% accurate, but the projections will change based on how a player performs. So if he's lighting it up in the minors, you're going to see him projected to make that major league roster earlier than a guy who's not performing as well.
All of the changes we've talked about so far, they're both in franchise mode and March to October. Is that correct?
That's right. So we designed this depth chart specifically for franchise mode, but honestly, we loved it. So we figured let's slide it into MTO as well. The one key thing there is you can't make roster moves from the depth chart in March to October because it's a very curated mode. The roster moves are really episodic and it's really exciting. So it doesn't quite make sense there, but you still have that really awesome view of the present and the future.
All right, thank you for that explanation. So we're talking about franchise mode in March to October today. We've already talked about overhaul player and trade value. We've already went over the organizational depth chart and how it changes franchise mode. Now let's get into budget systems. Clayton, tell me how the budget system has been overhauled for MLB The Show 21.
The budget system. All right, I'll say this, fans. We listen to your feedback, and I'll admit that even I got confused at times when trying to figure out what I could or could not afford during my franchise campaigns.
You talking about you were confused. I think all of us were confused, so we're happy to hear about these changes.
Yeah, it was about time we did something about it. So gone is the weekly display of budget figures, and in its place is a new yearly system that has the intelligence to project out your budget based upon monetary transactions that have already taken place, so money you've already earned or spent, and also based on the current rate of revenue and expenditure. This was not a small task as this information is displayed in a multitude of screens, but the improved yearly display makes it much easier to comprehend, which is always a bonus for us digital general managers. Additionally, we made some improvements to the budget logic with regards to the postseason. You now have the ability to earn greater revenue over your playoff run, and the added bonus to this is that it better aligns with what happens in the real world.
This all sounds absolutely amazing. Thank you for the explanation, Clayton. Really appreciate it. So let's talk about Stadium Creator integration into franchise mode. So Stadium Creator is a new next-gen feature. Can I build my own stadium and relocate it in franchise mode, Kyle?
Absolutely. I know, just like many of our fans, I am so excited for Creative Stadium. It's easily one of the most impactful features we've ever had in MLB The Show, and it wouldn't really be complete without being able to use it in franchise mode. It's also really easy. So you just go to franchise, go up to that top right and click the Stadium Assignments menu, and you'll see that you can set the stadium for every single major league and minor league club. It's really just as easy as scrolling through, selecting a team, and picking that new stadium.
Every stadium.
That's right.
Every single one.
That's right. Every single one. It's also super flexible too. Maybe you do want to enter that alternate reality and customize every single major league stadium, or maybe you just want to take it a little easier and customize just your home team stadium. And add on top of that, you can change your uniforms and relocate or change your team name. It's really powerful. But there is one little catch. What's
the catch? What's the catch, Kyle?
We support 30 save slots for traded stadiums, so that means you can have up to 30 stadiums saved and changed in this menu.
All right, so we have already already talked about a lot. Overhaul player and trade value in franchise mode. The new organizational depth chart in franchise mode. The new budget system in franchise mode. Stadium created integration into franchise mode as well. Now let's talk about March to October. Clayton, can you give us a quick overview on this mode?
I can do that. All right, so March to October is a bite-sized, single-season franchise campaign that constantly brings you into high-intensity, high-impact moments where you earn momentum by being successful, and this momentum carries over into simulated games which run between your gameplay moments. Along the way, you'll also have player lock episodes where you'll play as a single player, as well as trade opportunities, call-up opportunities, and brand new fast-track player development opportunities. Through all these avenues, you can strengthen your team for a World Series run as a GM, you can earn attribute boosts and potential boosts for players, and even play as prospects in the minor league games and get them called up to the majors. All this and more while earning team affinity.
Clayton, in March to October, there's a new feature that focuses on low-level and often lower-rated players on your roster, the prospects. So how can prospects be useful to you in a single season in a March to October campaign?
I love dreaming on prospects just as much as our fans do, but because March to October is currently just one season, prospects tended to have very little value in this mode. That's all changed now that we've introduced these new fast track opportunities. So what fast tracks offer you is the experience to play player lock games as a prospect in the minor leagues. And let me just add here that this is the first time we've had minor league games in March to October. What's really cool about fast track opportunities is that it offers our fans the ability to make even lower level prospects impactful during their March to October campaign.
All right, Clayton, let's talk about these fast track opportunities. Can you explain them in a little bit more detail, please?
Yeah, these opportunities are really a chance to accelerate the skill development of a prospect. As you can see from footage of Matt Liberator's player card before and after a successful fast track episode, performing well can boost a prospect's attributes. Liberator went from a 64 to a 70 overall. It can boost the prospect's potential. He went from a B potential to an A potential. And most important, it can earn the prospect a call-up opportunity to the show.
So let's talk about call-ups. What's happening with call-ups in March to October, Clayton?
What's new is that March to October call-up opportunities are better this year for a couple reasons. First, because you have more choices. This year you may have up to 3 players to choose from for every call-up opportunity. The other reason it's better is that if you play well, just like in fast track opportunities, you can boost a prospect's attributes. So as we follow along with Liberator's ascension to the majors here, you notice that by playing well in his debut or in his call-up opportunity, he's earned another boost to his attributes. He's gone from a 70 overall to a 77. If there's one thing everyone should take away from both fast track opportunities and call-up opportunities, it's that prospects, even low-level ones, can be impactful in a single season March to October campaign. You can boost your favorite prospects and make them legit major leaguers. And not only that, that progression that they've made through successful fast tracks and call-ups, you can carry that forward into franchise following your March to October campaign.
Thank you for that explanation. So we just talked about fast track opportunities, minor league games, and call-out opportunities and how they've changed in March to October, but the improvements don't stop there. The postseason experience. Clayton, how have you enhanced the postseason experience in March to October for MLB The Show 21?
We didn't feel it was on par with the March to October regular season experience. We wanted more from the postseason experience than our fans being dropped in the 5th inning every game with no one on base and nobody out. So we introduced a lot of great new logic under the hood to make the March to October postseason experience more exciting and more aligned with the regular season experience by decreasing the amount of time it takes to complete a World Series run. The new logic will consistently bring you into high leverage situations later in games. You'll have men on base, you'll have outs in the inning, and the moment will most likely be a critical one. And it will do all this while respecting the momentum that you've earned in previous games.
Team affinity. Is there anything team affinity related we should announce since we're discussing the March to October postseason experience?
Yeah, one final but exciting note that many of you have been waiting to hear with regards to the March to October postseason experience is that team affinity rewards have been increased for winning the Division Series, winning the Championship Series, and obviously winning the World Series.
All right, so that's fast track opportunities, minor league games, call-up opportunities in March to October. We just talked about what has changed in the postseason experience, but we're not done there. You still did more work, Clayton. Give us a little info on what you've changed as far as lineups and rotation logic in March to October, Clayton.
We've been busy, Ramone.
That's what I like to hear.
We've taken steps in March, October to minimize the shuffling of your lineups and rotation following trades or call-ups. We don't want to decide your batting order or your pitching rotation or your bullpen for you. We want to stay as true to how our fans set their lineups and rotation as possible. So we've added new logic to do just that. If you look at the footage of the lineup before and after the Jonathan Scope trade, you'll see that the lineups are virtually intact with the exception of sliding Scope into the starting lineup.
But let's jump into lineup and rotation access. Can you access it from anywhere, Clayton?
You definitely can. March to October editions this year is that we made lineups and rotation screen accessible from virtually everywhere. Trade management screen, fast track opportunity screen, call-up screen, the trade opportunity screen. You can access and adjust your lineups and rotation from any of these places. And finally, following trades and call-ups, we've added new full screen pop-ups. These pop-ups not only let you see your new addition in his brand new shiny uniform, it also gives our fans the new ability to adjust their lineups and rotation before entering the player lock games that follow these big moves.
So Clayton, any little things you want to mention that we might have glossed over or forgot to mention about the changes coming to franchise and March to October this year?
Yeah, I'll mention a couple things quick. So morale, the new cool addition with morale that we've added is its increased effect on player salary demands during contract extension negotiations. Players' morale can sway his salary expectations during extensions by as much as 10%, so keep your players happy for that team-friendly discount. And morale no longer affects players' in-game attributes as well. The last thing is the player card. Minor league stats are back, Ramone. We have rightfully returned the ability to view a player's minor league stats back to the player card.
Hey.
And this one is a little personal victory for me.
All right, that's good to hear. So that kind of wraps it up for franchise in March to October. We've talked about overhaul player and trade value. We discussed what's new with the depth chart with Kyle. We went over the brand new budget system and that great stadium creator being in franchise mode. Clayton has also given us a big overview on the changes he's made to March to October, which includes fast track opportunities, minor league games mattering, call-up opportunities in March to October, and the postseason experience. We can't forget about the postseason experience. It has received a lot of love as well, and Clayton didn't stop there. He even revamped the March to October lineups and rotation logic. So we want to send a quick thank you to everybody in the community, who responded to us and helped us out on making these changes. You know who you are. We appreciate it. Let's do a different kind of reveal today. We're going to give you a sneak peek at a brand new card series called the 42. This series pays respects to Jackie Robinson, who's on our collector's edition cover this year. There will be 42 players at launch in a few different areas of Diamond Dynasty. And if you ordered the collector's edition, there's that Diamond Choice Pack that everyone's wondering, who will be in this Diamond Choice Pack? Well, let's see a few of the players in it and that fire new card art. Hit it, Colin.
Yeah. I only got one question. So is that all you got? You go big or stronger. You push harder. Is that all you got? You climb higher, faster. So is that all you got? You put your best and the rest in. No resting. Is that all you got? So you a victor. I only got one question. So is that all you got? You go big or stronger. You push harder. Is that all you got? You climb higher, faster. So is that all you got? Is that all you got? Is that all you got? Is that all you got?
There are our first 5 legends from the 42 series. Of course, headlining the group is Jackie Robinson, but we got Ken Griffey Jr., Willie Mays, Mariano Rivera, and Bob Gibson. We have 5 more reveals to show off during next week's feature premiere. 5, say that one more time. 5 more reveals to show off during next week's feature premiere, making a total of 10 legends in the Diamond Choice Pack. You'll get to choose one for your Diamond Dynasty squad from that pack. Remember, the Digital Deluxe Edition comes with 2 of these Diamond Choice Packs. However, the reveals keep coming. For MLB The Show 21, let's take a look at some of the legends we've seen so far in feature premieres. We've got Alfonso Soriano, Grady Sizemore, Roberto Clemente was revealed in the gameplay trailer, but we didn't stop there. We gave you a Legends trailer this week. Red Sox legend Pedro Martinez joins the roster. Prince Fielder joins the roster. Fernando Valenzuela joins the roster. And headlining the whole list, the one and only Hank Aaron. Now the 42 series is here with more player reveals coming next week. We learned a lot about what's new in franchise and March to October today. A special thanks to Kyle and Clayton for coming on. We still have 2 huge feature premieres left. MLB The Show 21 goes next gen and Diamond Dynasty. We can't wait. The live team can't wait. Watch every Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific on Twitch, Facebook Live, and next week especially, watch in 4K 60 frames per second on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.